Welcome back, listeners, to another episode of Susan Lopresti Wellness, Mind, Body, and Soul, the podcast where we explore the highs, the lows, and everything in between when it comes to a woman's life, her health, and all aspects of navigating the midlife landscape. I'm your host, Susan Lopresti, and today I am talking about the dangers of sitting for long periods of time. Thank you for tuning in, and I hope that you enjoy the show. In the modern era, where technology dominates our daily lives and desk-bound jobs are the norm, the act of sitting has become second nature to so many, from long hours at the office to leisurely evenings in front of the television. We often find ourselves seated for extended periods of time without giving much thought to the consequences. However, there's emerging research that's shedding light on the alarming health risks associated with this seemingly innocuous activity. In this episode, I'm going to delve into the dangers of prolonged sitting and explore some strategies to mitigate its adverse effects. Sedentary behavior is categorized by prolonged periods of sitting or reclining with low energy expenditure. This has become an epidemic in contemporary society. The advent of technology has facilitated this trend with sedentary activities such as watching television, browsing the internet, working at our computers. This is all dominating our daily routines. Unfortunately, the human body is not designed for prolonged inactivity, and the consequences of sedentary living are manifold. So I want to get into some of the health implications of prolonged sitting. The first one that I want to talk about is the increased risk of chronic disease. And you would really never put the two together. But there are studies that are linked to prolonged sitting to a higher risk of chronic diseases, such as obesity, type 2 diabetes, cardiovascular disease, and certain types of cancer as well. What they have found is prolonged sitting is associated with metabolic disturbances, including impaired glucose metabolism and increased insulin resistance, which contributes to the development of these conditions. Then there are musculoskeletal issues as well. So if you're sitting for long periods, this can lead to musculoskeletal problems such as back pain and neck strain and poor posture. Maintaining a static position places excessive pressure on the spine, which leads to discomfort and also the potential for long-term spinal issues. Additionally, prolonged sitting can weaken the muscles in the lower back and hips, further exacerbating these issues. So let's look at cardiovascular complications. Sitting for extended periods of time has been linked to an increased risk of cardiovascular events, such as heart attack and stroke. Prolonged sitting is associated with elevated blood pressure, increased inflammation, and impaired vascular function, all of which contribute to cardiovascular dysfunction over time. Then there are mental health concerns. Sedentary behavior is not only detrimental to physical health, but also has implications for mental well-being. Research suggests a link between prolonged sitting and an increased risk of depression as well as anxiety. Furthermore, sedentary lifestyles are often associated with social isolation and decreased quality of life, further impacting mental health. So let's get into some strategies that we could use to combat prolonged sitting. The first one I want to talk about is incorporating regular movement breaks. So if you work at a computer for 8 hours a day, you need to break up prolonged sitting by incorporating short movement breaks throughout the day. Stand up, stretch, or take a brief walk every hour if you need to alleviate muscle stiffness and to improve circulation. Now, I want to tell you, when I worked in corporate America and I was sitting at my desk for 8 hours a day, I worked on the 50th floor. And myself and a bunch of my coworkers would take some breaks. And what we would do is we would go into the stairwell of our building and walk down maybe 20 or 25 flights of stairs and then turn around and come back up. And I want to tell you what that did. I can't speak for the rest of the women that were doing it with me, but my own feelings was I would get back to my desk. I was huffing and puffing, but my thinking was clearer. And a lot of times I would do that even by myself. If I was working on a problem, I was an analyst, so I worked with numbers. And sometimes I'd get stuck on a situation and I just couldn't figure out what I was doing wrong, why the number wasn't coming out right. And when I got into a situation like that, I would hit the stairwell. When I got back after going down the stairs and coming back up, I had a whole new perspective. My thinking was clearer. I felt rejuvenated. I had more energy, and I was ready to tackle that task over again. And believe it or not, the answer came to me. I would see what the problem was and correct it. And lo and behold, the number was correct. So that just goes to show you need to take those breaks. You also need to be using the bathroom. Do not sit at your desk for long periods of time, knowing that you need to pee and you're sitting there and I'll go in 5 minutes. I'll go in 5 minutes. Then you'll get a call and then you're interrupted again. Get up and go use the bathroom. These are the tips that are going to help you enormously with the quality of your work as well as the quality of your health. Utilize sit-stand workstations if they're allowed. And I know in my company they were allowed, and people who had back problems bought these sit-stand workstations and they made a big difference in their health. So what are they? It's ergonomic furniture, such as a sit-stand desk. And what you do is you alternate from time to time between sitting and working or standing and working. This not only reduces the total time spent sitting, but it also helps promote better posture and musculoskeletal health. The other thing I want to say is to engage in regular physical activity. Besides what you're doing in the office, you want to aim for approximately 150 minutes of moderate intensity aerobic activity or 75 minutes of vigorous intensity activity each week, as recommended by health guidelines. Incorporating regular exercise into your routine can really counteract the negative effects of prolonged sitting and improve overall health. The other thing I want to talk about is practicing mindful sitting. So be mindful of your sitting posture and make adjustments to ensure proper alignment and support of your spine. Use ergonomic chairs, and you want to get one that has lumbar support, and you want to avoid slouching or hunching over your desk. You want to always have your back up straight. The next thing I want to suggest is to limit sedentary leisure activities. So if you're sitting at a desk 8 hours a day, it's best to spend time engaging in activities other than watching television or playing video games because you're sitting again. Instead, opt for more active pastimes that involve movement and physical exertion, whatever that may be for you. Running, jogging, walking, a mini trampoline is great. All of these things are wonderful activities to get your blood flowing, clear your head. You'll feel better. You'll feel lighter. Your thinking will be clearer. You'll be happier, and you will be improving your health. So, in conclusion, I want to say that the evidence is clear. Prolonged sitting poses is a significant risk to both your physical and your mental health. By understanding the dangers of sedentary behavior and implementing strategies to reduce sitting time, we can mitigate the risk and improve our overall well-being. From incorporating regular movement breaks to prioritizing physical activity, small changes to our daily routines can make a profound difference in combating the perils of prolonged sitting. So let's stand up for our health and embrace a more active lifestyle. I want to thank you so much for listening. I appreciate each and every one of you. If you feel that one of my episodes, whether it's this one or any other episode that you listen to from my podcast, would benefit someone who you know and love, I would appreciate it immensely if you could share it out with them. My mission is to spread my word wide and far. I believe that if we are going to age, we need to be aging in a healthy way, enjoying our life, and just being able to continue to do all the things we've always enjoyed doing. What is the sense in living if we can't enjoy our life? Doing these simple little activities that I bring to you here on this podcast can make a profound difference, not only in how you look, but also in how you feel, which is really the ultimate goal. So thank you again for listening. I appreciate each and every one of you. And until the next time, be well, stay happy, and bye for now. Take good care, everyone.